It's game day, Seminole fans, as Florida State takes on top-ranked Alabama in the Chick-fil-A kickoff right here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm Lane Hurt, along with Tim Lenefelt. Tim, we got a tour of this place recently. Before we get into the 3 keys to victory for the Seminoles today, what was your favorite part of this brand new stadium?
Boy, there's a lot to like about this place. One thing that you can't see is the sweet Mercedes-Benz sports car, just kind of a little bit that way. But probably my favorite thing, you know me, I'm a sucker for some good tongue-in-cheek humor. I spotted on the menu at one of the concession stands something called the closed on Sunday chicken sandwich. You may recall there was a little bit of consternation about the fact that the stadium here has a Chick-fil-A, which of course is closed on Sundays, and when does the NFL play most of its games? On Sundays. So that Chick-fil-A may not get a whole lot of use, but never fear, if you're in Atlanta for a Falcons game on a Sunday and you need a chicken sandwich, the closed on Sunday sandwich has got you covered. I thought that was pretty cool.
There you have it, more important than any keys we can give you for the Seminole game. But of course, we are here because Florida State's taking on Alabama. Huge opener for the Seminoles. Let's go over some keys to victory, starting with number 1 in that offensive line, at least slowing down Alabama's defensive front.
Absolutely. Look, Florida State's going to have to give DeAndre Francois some time. It's going to have to open up some holes for Jaquez Patrick, Cam Akers, and the gang, and just, allow the offense to stay on the field. Alabama's defensive front is really, really good. They lost 5 of 7 members of their front 7 last year, but if you follow recruiting, you know just how well Alabama does that. They got 4- and 5-star guys all over the place. Guys are 6'3", 6'4", 325 pounds. They just sort of plug and play at that spot at Alabama. So Florida State's going to have its hands full. They do feel really good about their chances, and I think that has a lot to do with who they match up against in practice. Talking to Rick Leonard and some of those guys, they say, look, if we can block the Derek Notties and DeMarcus Christmases and Brian Burns of the world, we feel pretty good about our chances against anybody, including Alabama. That's actually a pretty compelling theory, so I'm curious to see how that shakes out. But regardless, it needs to come out in Florida State's favor if that offense is going to have success.
Key number 2, you'll remember this one probably recycled a couple times from last year, maintaining Jalen Hurts. He's a guy who can beat you with his arm and his legs. I think the Seminoles would prefer him beat you with his arm. Florida State has to contain him and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, sort of the rap on Jalen Hurts is he's at his most dangerous is when he's running and he's taking a play that looks like nothing and turns it into something, gets on the run, scans down the field, and finds a player or receiver who slipped his coverage. Florida State has to keep him in the pocket. And if he does break a couple runs, don't get frustrated. Remain on your P's and Q's. Stay in your lane. Don't, as Josh Sweat the other day, don't farm somebody else's land. Stay on top of what you're supposed to be doing, and you'll be fine. I'm really curious to see how Derwin James plays a role in this. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Charles Kelly looked at Derwin James and said, number 2, that's your guy. You keep him where he's supposed to be and trust the other 10 guys on the defense to cover those receivers and tight ends.
And then, of course, key number 3, protect the football. That's important every game, but against Alabama, it becomes even more important. You're talking about the team that scored 11 touchdowns on defense last year. Not only can they force turnovers, they've done a great job of capitalizing on them.
Exactly right. I mean, 11 touchdowns. How many players don't score? Offensive players don't score 11 touchdowns in a season. Alabama's defense was an offensive weapon last year. And, you want to talk about a recipe for disaster, let Alabama's defense score a defensive touchdown. And things just sort of snowball from there, right? You can't let that happen. Even for that matter, if you turn the ball over and they get the ball in their 10, you're 15, you're 20. Those are kind of things that you can't do and expect to beat Alabama. Even a team as good as Florida State, we expect Florida State to be very good. Alabama will beat anybody that aids that process. So protect the ball, keep Alabama's defense out of the end zone, and give yourself a chance.
There you have it, Seminole fans. We are so close. Hours away from kickoff as Florida State takes on Alabama in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. That game starts at 8:14, I believe, on ABC. You don't want to miss this one. And, of course, we'll have everything you need after the game as well. Tim will have his analysis. We'll have highlights, a recap, and you'll hear from players and head coach Jimbo Fisher as well. So for Tim, I'm Lane. Are you ready, Tim?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Go Noles.